Hey guys, what's going on? James here. In this video today, I'm going to be grading the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 2025 NFL draft class. I've had about a day now to kind of digest, think about the picks that were made, and I have given my official grades as well as my overall grade for the draft class. Let's start off at pick number 19 in round number 1. Wide receiver Emeka Ibuka out of Ohio State was the selection. I give it an A- grade, and I know that may surprise some people given what my initial reaction was to the pick. And again, I'm going to reiterate the point of it's not what I would have personally done. I was a very big fan of Jihad Campbell. However, I'm not going to deny that Emeka Ibuka is a very special type of player. He's coming out of a great university in Ohio State. He's going to slot in right away as the number 3 wide receiver in the immediate sense. Then going forward in, let's say, 3 years, he's going to be your wide receiver 1, most likely, depending on what happens with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin a couple of years from now. But I think that Emeka Ibuka is in a fantastic position, right? I really do believe that. I think that he can be and will be a contributor right away for the Buccaneers offense. And as Jason Light has been saying, as the Bucs have been saying, this is a move, yes, for the future, but also for the immediate sense as well. I do think Ibuka can have a pretty special rookie season and put up some pretty darn good numbers and continue to have an impact here going from the college level to the NFL level. Yes, it is unfortunate for a receiver like Jalen McMillan, who really did prove himself last year with 450 receiving yards and 8 receiving touchdowns. I still think he will get opportunities, maybe not as many now going forward with Ibuka coming in as your likely wide receiver 3, but I don't want that to take away from the excitement surrounding the Ibuka pick. I think that he is going to be a good player for the Buccaneers going forward. Now, I do give it that A- because it isn't necessarily what I would have done, and it's my personal grades, right? But I do go back to that A- because Ibuka is a special kind of player in my opinion. Next, we have round 2, pick number 53. The Buccaneers selected Benjamin Morrison, cornerback out of Notre Dame. I give this one an A- as well. And Benjamin Morrison is a guy who was considered as a potential first round draft pick, even with his current circumstances that he has been dealing with, which leads me to why I gave this pick an A- in the first place. Is the hip injury is a little concerning, right? Benjamin Morrison has not played football in a little while now. He did have hip surgery that wiped out pretty much the entirety of his past season with Notre Dame. How is he going to recover from that hip injury? The hips are obviously so important to an NFL cornerback, being able to have fluid motion in your hips, being able to rotate, being able to switch on a dime, essentially. I hope that Morrison has not lost any of that fluidity and that ability going to the NFL level after that hip surgery. So that's why I do have it as an A-, because yes, while I do think the Buccaneers got tremendous value here with Morrison, there was a reason for that, and that was that hip injury, which does have me slightly concerned. But whenever you do get past that concern, you do take a look at Morrison, and he is a guy who is going to be a guy that I think is a future starting cornerback for the Bucs. He has the overall size, the overall ability to be a number 1 cornerback at the NFL level. He has that pedigree, he has that overall coverage ability and the instincts as well. Everything that you want to have as a number 1 cornerback. Again, even with Benjamin Morrison coming out after the draft and saying, hey, I feel good, I feel ready to go, you never know at the end of the day. It still is a bit of a concern. I give it an A- just because of that hip injury. Next, we have round 3, pick number 84 with Jacob Parish. I'm going to give it a B-. Now, I like Jacob Parish. I do. I think that he is an intriguing player. I think he will have a chance to start right away for the Buccaneers. But this did feel like a bit of a reach. Jacob Parish was kind of projected to be maybe a fourth round guy in a lot of mock drafts at the NFL level. And he hasn't played nickel cornerback in a major way. So that's going to be a position that he's going to have to learn. He's played outside cornerback, which is good. The Buccaneers get a guy who has more experience at outside cornerback. But Parish is going to be looking to play more nickel. He didn't do that really much at all at the collegiate level. So I'm going to be curious to see if there are any growing pains with Parish and what his role is going to be on this Buccaneers defense. And again, the Buccaneers got him in round number 3. I don't necessarily know if he would have been available in round number 4, but there certainly could have been a chance that that was a possibility. So it does feel like a bit of a reach in my opinion. I do think that Parish may have some growing pains learning that nickel cornerback spot, but hey, I'm happy to be proven wrong here. I hope he has nothing but success as well. Round number 4, pick 121, the Buccaneers selected David Walker, edge defender out of Central Arkansas. By the way, Jacob Parish was from Kansas State, by the way. David Walker out of Central Arkansas, I give it a B-plus grade. I give it a B-plus grade because David Walker absolutely produced at the collegiate level. I mean, you name it, the guy was able to do a lot of really, really good things. He was getting a ton of sacks. He was getting after the quarterback at multiple levels. He was a guy that was extremely, extremely disruptive at the collegiate level. 6'1", 263 pounds. Great size for an edge rusher as well. I do worry about how he is going to translate to the NFL level, right? Which is why I've kind of stunted myself in saying, hey, B+, because he is going up against NFL caliber talent now here. So there may be some growing pains there, but the tools are there. He was an elite level graded run defender, an elite level graded pass rusher by Pro Football Focus while at Central Arkansas. You saw the production, you saw the overall ability from David Walker, so there certainly are a lot of things to be excited about, in my opinion. I mean, a lot of things to be excited about from David Walker. So I'm excited to see what he can do. I'm excited to see what he is gonna be able to get done here at the NFL level. I give it a B+ because I love the potential of this young man. Next, we have round 5, pick number 157. It is Elijah Roberts, defensive lineman out of SMU. I also gave this a B+ grade. I really like the potential a lot, right, of Elijah Roberts and David Walker. It's why I'm grading these guys so high, despite coming out of Central Arkansas in the place of David Walker and SMU in the place of Elijah Roberts. And SMU is a little bit of a bigger school than Central Arkansas. But again, similar to what I said about David Walker, Elijah Roberts is going to be possibly going through some growing pains. But he's 6'4", 295 pounds. He, again, was an elite level graded pass rusher by Pro Football Focus while at SMU. And he was another guy who put up just fantastic levels of production while at SMU as well. He's a guy that I think can contribute right away. I mean, he had 7.5 sacks in 2024. He had 10 sacks in 2023, guys. The guy can certainly go out there and produce. But again, much like what I said with David Walker, I'm going to stunt the grade a little bit here because I need to wait and see how he's going to do at the NFL level as well with David Walker, which, by the way, David Walker, 10.5 sacks in 2024, 8.5 sacks in 2023, 12 sacks in 2022. Okay, so again, both those guys, David Walker and Elijah Roberts, produced at an incredibly, incredibly high level. Finally, we have wide receiver Tez Johnson, round 7, pick number 235 out of Oregon. I give it an A grade, and some people may be a little bit surprised about that, but this was fantastic value. I think that the Bucs' key here was value in this draft, and I think they continued to do that here with Tez Johnson. A lot of people thought that he was the guy that, heck, maybe could have even gone in round 5, round 4, something along those lines, and he got picked up in round 7. A 4.51 40-yard dash. Now, he's very light. He's 151 pounds. and 5'10". He's the lightest player on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think he was the lightest player drafted. You also have the Bucs getting the heaviest player in the draft with Desmond Watson. He was an undrafted free agent, but I like what Tez can offer. I do. I really do. He had 10 receiving touchdowns. He did miss a couple of games due to a shoulder injury, but still had 898 receiving yards. 2023, he had over 1,000 receiving yards. He had 10 receiving touchdowns. So this is a young man that, yes, despite his light weight, was still able to produce at a high level as well. And I'm curious to see what the Buccaneers use him as in terms of an offensive weapon. He does have a lot of kick return and punt return ability. He was very good at that at Oregon. I believe it was either a punt return or a kick return for a touchdown, at least one. So good job to Ted Johnson for that as well. But I'm curious. I mean, I want to see the bright mind of Josh Grizzard go to work. There's a lot of praise for Josh Grizzard as offensive coordinator. What are they going to use Ted Johnson for? Are they going to have him out of the backfield sometimes? Are they going to have him do the slot, do some end arounds, almost like maybe like a Deebo Samuel-esque type of player? I don't know, but I'm excited to find out. And I like it because of the value. The Bucs have had some really good success recently with Oregon players, Bucky Irving, and I think that you can see some similar growth from Tez Johnson. Guys, my overall grade, whenever you average it out, is an A-. I really enjoy this draft class. I do. Yes, the Bucs did not get an inside linebacker. I'll be talking about that in a separate video of some options they may have, but a lot of things that they needed to address here, I'm happy with. They got an outside cornerback. They got a slot cornerback. They got two very high potential pass rushers, in my opinion. And they got two electric wide receivers in the mix as well. And while you may say that, hey, wide receiver wasn't a need, I agree. It's nice that they continue to load up at that position, regardless of it not being a urgent need. Benjamin Morrison, Jacob Parish, I think are going to contribute right away in that cornerback room. And David Walker and Elijah Roberts, I love their potential as pass rushers here for the Bucs. So what do you guys think about this draft class? Let me know your thoughts and opinions about it down in the comments section below. I'd love to hear it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hope you all enjoyed. And as always, guys, I will see you all in the next video or the next live stream. But until then, and as always, guys, goodbye for now, and go Bucs.